sign back in again. And
Oh,
I remember last year, Pansig or Call, something, I was just really surprised I had to do that every single time.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
guess I did this. The only other event Zilla thing I did was Jolt 2020,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's sort of just clicking on things. I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
really, I was like, okay, join the room, click here. Okay, that's
yeah.
it felt like that was straightforward enough. But again, online learning is
Mm,
catching everybody by surprise, and this is Zoom, as intuitive it is as it is in some ways, if it's your first time, there's still a curve.
yeah.
Messaging someone here.
I'm going to step away for a minute.
Okay. Gabe. That's funny. Go to Costco, man. Get in there. It's gonna close.
What Costco? What are we
Oh,
talking
there's
about?
a
Costco?
Gabe was asking if it's gonna be. Oh, sorry, Gabe. I should have just kept it between us. But yeah, Gabe, it's gonna be recorded. This event will be recorded.
And then sold at Costco. Okay, I
And
got
then
it.
we're gonna sell it at Costco. I'll have my own DVD. So okay, so let's just get started. It's a minute in. We've got yeah, I think we've got enough people.
Okay, all right. Well, so I guess I'm supposed to be. I'm the host that's not the host. The hostess with the mostest.
Yep.
I'm Charles Browne, Meiji-Gakuin University, and I'm here to introduce Scott Crowe, who is, just an amazing English teacher, a school owner, publisher, all around fantastic guy. He's always doing innovative things, and he's one of the guys that's made a great transition from excellent student-centered face-to-face learning to student-centered interactive online learning. So today he is going to talk about new software, RoyalABC, and I will give the floor to him. Scott, where are you?
I think I'm having a little technical issue. Can you see me here?
Okay.
Yeah, I can see. Oh no, you're the cat. I am not a cat.
I'm live here, guys. I'm not a cat. There must be some button down here somewhere. This should do it.
There we go. And that's my intro. Woo! All right. I just
killed me there.
I'm sorry. I've got to turn off my mic.
I just had to. Okay. So basically today I am going to go, just a minute. So I'm going to talk about an app that I am going to be implementing at my schools. And because it's so cool, I just want to show you, this is when you open up the app and when the student signs in, this is kind of what they see. So I just wanted to just give you a little teaser of how cool it looks. Bing.
Hello.
Wake up. Awesome. Yeah, and so a lot of these, you'll see a lot of games out there that have these type of, these reels that look really good, but the gameplay is not even close to what their promo reel looks like. But this is the actual game. That's the game inside the game right there. So it's pretty darn cool. So let me just talk about, so why am I implementing RoyalABC at my schools? I'm going to go over how it would work in an English school with a textbook-based curriculum already in place, what the benefits of that kind of program would be for me, and then what would the user experience be like? Also, how could this improve my scheduling experience? And I'm going to do all that in 1 minute. Just kidding. That's a note for me. And why So why would I want to put RoyalABC at my schools? Well, first I'll talk about about 15 years ago at my schools, my lessons, they kind of looked like this. I would have our standard lesson for kindergarten, lower elementary, would be, you'd have a vocabulary set, maybe 2, for example, toys, colors, grammar target that matches the vocabulary. What is it? It's a car. Or, weather, how is the weather? It's sunny. Then a song, hopefully that used the vocab target. This is my truck, I like my truck, or something like that. And then a game or games to encourage the fun use of language, like the game What's Missing, where you'd put 5 toy cards on the floor, have the kids close their eyes, and then I'd take it, hide it behind my back, and then, okay, guys, open your eyes. What's missing? What is it? It's a car. And so, that's a great, it's a great structured lesson. There's nothing wrong with it. And what I did find though, is that a lot of, sorry, was that just a little audio glitch there? Okay. So what I found was that when my students would learn how to say a lot of things, but they never really got to the point where they were speaking naturally. And so I dug up the Dulce word list, and I looked at the Dulce word list, which was the most frequently used words by native speakers in 1935. But it was the most used words by native speakers. And I noticed that, even in the top 44 words in this list, there were so few of them were occurring in not just my lessons, but in textbooks that were out there. So I went ahead and in an act of desperation, I created my own sort of story-based curriculum, and that really improved things. So I skipped a slide here, and basically these are the dialogues that were kind of possible in that lesson that I just described. So like, what's this? It's a car. Is it blue? No, it's red. And that's kind of in a good situation where the flashcards have kind of been designed for this, where the car is 1 color or 2 colors, and they're specific colors, so we can actually talk about the colors, right? And so I wanted to improve things, so I made this series called Magic House, which used the Dulce word list and brought basically used high frequency words at the frequency that they were occurring in natural conversation, but in a way that was emotionally engaging and easily understood by kindergarten children. And that really was a game changer for me, because our kids started getting really good and spoke quite well, much better than they were 15 years ago at my schools. And so then there's a new game changer that kind of came out recently, which was the new Dulce word list. And I won't get into that, but we're now sort of readjusting our books to match the new Dulce word list. But let's take a look at it. And if you think about a lot of the lessons that do happen in schools, we tend to teach a lot of nouns to young children, right? And so of course there's a lot of the high frequency words in songs that are well written. But if you look at this list, you see words like for and from, and words that are, difficult to teach. They're abstract words. And so how do you, the goal is not to get young learners to understand these words. The goal is to get kindergarten kids to use these words spontaneously of their own volition, right? So that's the hard part, right? You can't just say, okay, just say what I say, and now they've said it, we did it, yes, because we'll just make a bunch of little cute parrots, won't we? So this, I'm very thankful for this new updated science-based list, which is really wonderful. And so if this list will we'll speak to it. So what could a lesson look like with pre-learned vocabulary? So the challenge that we always have in when you use story-based learning, you want to get the kids saying things and using high frequency words. But if they don't know any words, if they don't know any nouns, you got to kind of teach them those first, right? Very simple words like verbs that are action verbs. They can jump, run, anything that's like overt and easy to understand. So all these words, you know, we spend a lot of time teaching these words in class. So what do you guys think? How much time do you think we spend in a class teaching these kind of words? There's just nouns and verbs. Any guesses out there?
Percentage, you mean? Like
Yep.
percentages? Like
Yep.
what percentage of class time? I would guess it depends on the style of teaching, because with a lot of young learners, we try to do TPR and action-oriented approaches for teaching verbs, especially, and sometimes nouns. So it could be, I don't know, 10-15%.
Yeah. What with my classes, when this is 15 years ago, so my memory also may be shot as it tends to be these days. But we found the teachers who were less skilled, they were using about 40 to 50% of their lesson time just playing rote games that practice.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was quite, and that's when we have our growing curves as teachers as well. So that was what when we were 15 years ago. But we were using a lot of time just sentence plus words, right? So my question is, what could a lesson look like with pre-learned vocabulary and with context-rich material, and the use of a great high-frequency word list in place? Let's take a look. Okay, hey guys, look at these. We've got some presents here. Wow. So who is the red present for? Who is the red present for? Yeah, that's right. It's for Kana, and that's a student's name. Okay. Kana. Yeah, the red present is for Kana. Now, who is the who is the green present for?
Charlie.
Oh, it's for Charlie. Woohoo! And then who is the yellow present for? Oh, it's for Yumiko.
Yumiko.
That's my wife. Who is giving my wife a present? But anyways, so we can put labels on things, and so the kids can identify their names. We always do name recognition for their own names, and then so we talk about the presents, and then we get into one of the presents. Okay, guys, look at this present. Wow. Oh, no, sorry. Guys, look at this. Look at this. So what's this? Yeah, that's right. It's a present. Now, these are the student and me having a conversation. Yeah, it's a present. So what color is it? It's red. Is it for Kota? No, it's for Kana. Is it from Daddy? No, it's from Mommy. And I'll just as a note, I'm asking no answer questions that generate a no answer, because we have a tendency to use full sentences after a no with more information rather than with an open-ended question. So who is this for? Kana, right? Is it for Mommy? No, it's for blah, blah, blah. So we tend to use naturally give more information when we feel like the person we're talking to doesn't know much, which is the case with me. So moving right along. So should I eat it? No, open it. Okay. And we open the present. Wow, look guys, it's a doll. Whoa. It's students, that's not a
That's
doll.
not a doll.
What? So it's a van. Oh, thank you, everyone. Well, Kana, are you happy? No. Why not? I want a doll. Oh, Kana, that's too bad. Oh dear. Now, I'm without the whole like, girls don't always like, girls sometimes like vehicles and boys, girls don't always like dolls and stuff. Just putting that aside, the frequency with I'm just making a little point here. Okay. And so let's say they kind of, she wants a doll, and so then we go through the same process with another student, Charlie, and Charlie ends up getting a doll. And so his answer is the same.
Doll.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, a doll. I don't want a doll. And so then here we are. So we end up with a situation where, two students say they're not happy. So this is a thinking situation for children where I can say, oh guys, Charlie, you have a doll, you are not happy. Kana, you have a van, you are not happy.
Let's
right?
change.
Yeah, and so the hope is that the kids will offer each other the presents, and if not the first time, I would sort of say, oh, I have an idea. After waiting a few seconds to see if they'll notice, I'll say, maybe Charlie, do you want a van? Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So Kana, why don't you ask Charlie, do you want a van? Yes, please. Okay, here you are. Charlie, ask Kana, do you want a doll? Yes, please.
Do you want a doll?
Yay. And so then they can exchange their flashcards, which we would be kind of using for this activity. So the kids would then, they'd have this quite complex ESL conversation, and these would be just kindergarten children, and they're using high frequency words in a very natural way. And there's no, at this point, the cognitive load is still quite low. And we can achieve that because of the fact that this situation is very, very common for them. This whole, it's a present, it's exciting. They know that a present should be for someone, it should be from someone, right? So they know all the context about giving presents. They also know, if Charlie got a doll, well, I'm not going to speak for Charlie, but I'll just use this as an example. If Charlie got a doll, we can assume he'd prefer to have a brand new Porsche, right? So there we go. So this is what we're talking about. It's like, how do we use our situation to our advantage? And we are, we're in English schools, and we have a limited amount of time with our students, often 45 minutes a week to 55 minutes a week with our students. So we have to think effectively and efficiently, and that means there's nothing more efficient and effective than a good word list. And I just stand by word lists so strongly. So the question I always ask is, how often should you use high frequency words? Frequently, right? So, but it's true, like these are high frequency words for a reason. So we have to find a way to use them frequently. And in my experience, it's really hard to do that if we need to spend all of our time, teaching words, right? So if a parent had great pronunciation, and if they didn't put undue pressure on their children, if they were all great teachers, we could kind of say, just you teach the words, and then we'll do the hard stuff. We'll do the stuff that we're good at, because I think we can argue that a parent could technically, go through words and teach just words, but with the functional words, with, the, for, of, all those words that are really challenging to use naturally, those would be something that a parent could have a lot of challenges with, and same with teachers as well, for young learners too. So what I Okay, this is the question I asked about how the time, so 40, 50. So what I did was, when I put my story teaching, story-based teaching in place, I really wanted to up the ante, and I really wanted to try and find a way to get my students to do as much previewing of the vocabulary at home as as was possible, because the more they came with, the more that I could do that a normal parent or teacher couldn't do, setting up situations that were context rich, allowing kids to have, conversations that were like the one that I just showed you. So we put YouTube in place. We had, this is quite common, I think, to have some playlist, and in the YouTube playlist, they were all talking flashcards. So these were basically just, a fun way for kids to watch.
What is it? What is it?
Echo.
It's a train.
Woo! Right. So that was one. Oopsie, sorry. So that was one thing that we did with was to try and put in place these type of things that were they weren't a bad solution. Having music and vocabulary being played to the students where they could repeat it. It was it wasn't rote, sort of dry, me speaking on a CD and the kids having to hunch over a book. Okay, and so that was one thing. Then we looked at the option of apps. Since the iPhone, there's so many educational apps that came out. Now the challenge with apps is that most apps that are out there were designed by app designers and not necessarily educators. So though I love them, I do love them all. They're so great, and I don't often let my children use the apps because I like them so much, and I'm just playing with all these children's apps all the time. But anyways, so the problem with the apps is that they're not designed by educators, and they so that's one point. Second point is that they don't we don't have any way of tracking the students' use of the app. And then thirdly, scientifically speaking, the apps, they don't have good algorithms for spaced repetition and learning what the learner is working on right now, learning what the learner needs to learn on. There are great apps with great spaced repetitions for adults, but most of the kids' apps don't have these. Yeah, so the average app is not effective, but having an LMS would be very effective. So me and Charlie and I, we've been looking around, and I kept Charlie's an expert at he's an expert at so many things, but one of those is in online learning. So I was sort of asking for Charlie's help to help me sort of find a great app that could balance out my textbook experience, so that with the goal of having kids learning at home, and that it was educationally sound, and that I would be able to track, not only to track what they were learning at home, but to align it with what I was doing at my school that month, right? And the final thing was that I didn't want to overwhelm myself with yet another thing, because we teachers love to do that. So the RoyalABC app comes with two parts. One is the RoyalABC World app, and then the other one is the RoyalABC Classroom. And so the so basically the way, I'll just run you through some things that the parents the kids would experience at home. So I think you can see here, it's the age appropriate interactions, it's privacy focused, so there's no issues there. Engaging gameplay, mirrors the content that we do in our classrooms, and that would be what I do in my classrooms with my curriculum, because these can be aligned as well. So they and then there is a classroom app, okay? And so if I think that this classroom app, to be honest with you, it's designed for a simple teaching process, but it has two modalities. You can do a full digital classroom. So you could use this in your classroom if you wanted to. But I have a feeling that, you know, teachers with a great deal of experience who have a lot of tricks up their sleeve wouldn't want to, you know, throw away their 20 years of experience. So they do have a blended mode where you can do a few of these games in class and then do your thing with the vocabulary that is presented. But basically this is just, I only use this one to set the homework. And then I also use this for online lessons, for some parts of the lessons, because it's great for online lessons. Just as information, this company it's like they're serious, and if you there's 600 lesson plans, 600 lessons in there, and I was a bit what do you call it? Not suspicious. Charlie, you made me so suspicious, but I was skeptical. Thank you, that's the word. So in the beginning, you think, it's an app. These guys, what do these app guys know? They can't know more than me. But when going through it, these guys have some seriously good lesson plans in there, and they do know their stuff. And so what they're trying to do is incorporate the 21st century skills into the flow of the learning. And let's just put the cards on the table. I don't remember any of my expressions anymore, so I'm just gonna make them up. Let's just let our cards fly, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying, but anyway, you know what I'm saying is, so just to be frank, it's very challenging to social cultural awareness for a 5-year-old, right? So there's some of these things are challenging to do for that, not only for that age group, but using a digital interface to do that. But it's the best version of that I've seen so far, and it's really good. And so there's that stuff that they're conscious of these things. That's the key, is they're trying and they're getting better and better. They've had a few updates. Then I checked out the older version of the app. That's a key there. If you're ever looking for apps, always look at the updates and see how many updates they've had and what those updates are. These updates are impressive. So they're definitely moving in a good direction, and they're doing so distinctly. And so I thought that impressed me as well. So flexible modular, research backed curriculum. I'm not going to go through all this because you can just read it for yourself. But it's basically, they know their stuff, and they're basing their lessons on very solid, up-to-date research. They do include STEAM activities. So even if you were doing live lessons and you wanted to connect it with some of the content, then you can go into the app, and they have suggested STEAM activities, which are live activities. These are the big ones that we know. Cut the apple and make a color pattern, red, blue, apple stamp. Things that we probably couldn't do in a 55-minute class anyways, but in a summer school, there's tons of good ideas inside the app for those kind of things as well. Yeah, and so you'll see here it says, our upcoming course creator tool will allow schools to blah, 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 and customize their content. So this one is a big one for me, because I don't want to start everything from scratch. I've got 22 years of experience under my belt, and I think I know a few things. So what I wanted was an app that could match what we are doing in our classes, but not be overwhelming to me. So they actually, it says upcoming, but it's actually out now. So if you have a curriculum, a syllabus that you're following, you can actually align the progress of their app with your curriculum. And I I haven't done that yet with the tool, so I'm not sure how extensive it is, but they are always fast in responding to me and have said that they're very willing to help out with that kind of stuff. So I assume it wouldn't be overwhelming, but the payoff would be obviously great if it even if it did require some effort. So the learning principles, I'm going to skip over this, but it's basically you know, all the good ones. You know, the trying to get the kids curious, thinking skills, practical thinking skills, and all that great stuff. So the learning outcomes are incredible. Like they've got like 1,700 sentences, and 600 words, and all those sentences get all sort of combined. And the thing that I like that it says right here, it says he, so correctly using pronouns, I, he, it, they. Those ones are, to have them, they're actually not that hard to teach with an app. I think the he, she, it just takes practice, right? But those kind of apps, like if the kids learn that at home, then you can do, let me just get out of here and go to one more slide that I've got. So you could do this kind of wonderful stuff here. 1 second here. Where are you? So as an example, so like you could do more context-rich stuff like this, where it's like, okay, mommy, can you see the mummy and the present? Is that appearing? Yeah. So like, okay, look at mommy. Wow. Is she happy? Yeah, she did. Well, she got a present. Yeah, she got a present. What did she get? And the kids would say doll or something like that. And I say, no, she got a robot. No, she got a doll. So we could even, we already do, introduce and expose our children to past tense already in my, with my school now, but it's hard to get there, and not in the sense that it's hard. The kids get it right away. I mean, you can see this is so clear. Like they don't even need to understand that it's past tense, and that it doesn't matter that they don't. But it's the bringing these things back frequently enough that that they can acquire the language as active language. That's the hard part. So having a robust app like this one to sort of review all those other things that could be done at home is for me, I think it's going to be a game changer, and I'm excited to get started. So I'm getting back onto my iPad here. So they've got all kinds of fun stuff in there. There's phonics, numeracy, literacy. They have a library. I don't know if it's, you couldn't really call it, would you call it extensive? No.
Well, it's graded readers. They're graded readers.
Yeah. So they have two within the app. This is the parents app. Like the app that they have at home, they have two sections. One is a graded readers area, and the other one is a topic-based books, topic-based readers. So, one would be about dogs, one would be about cats or whatever, so just topic-based or graded language-based grading. And they have audio that's built into there. So that's a big plus as well for having these things done at home. So those are great things that I loved about it. These are just simple. This page is just an explanation of what, kind of the games that are in there. So it's like critical thinking, typical. This is like, kindergarten level teaching for, even if it's a non-ESL. So, pattern recognition, different or same, these are all the super famous ones. So how would it work? That's the question. So each student would get an account. They sign up as a student. The teacher puts the students in the appropriate classes. Each week, the teacher, me or my staff, would click the next homework section, and then the kids would work individually at home focusing first of all on what I've assigned to them, and then they're free to go into the world. Once they've completed those activities, they're free to go into the world, and then they can play in that world. And inside that world, it is everything is tracked. All the play, all their interactions, it's all what do you call that? Spaced. It's all, you know, tracked with spaced repetition, and I'll just show you. Yeah, it's good. So it's basically everything that they do is tracked. How many times they encounter words and expressions and everything like that. So why do it? Why would I do this? Obviously for the reasons that I just said, but also the advantage to me business-wise is that if you get kids that are late starters or maybe behind, then they would be in the class A, for example. But if they're behind or falling behind, you could shift them into another class that you've specifically created for late starters or kids that need phonics work and stuff like that. So you could have a class where all the kids who are behind in phonics, you'd shift them in there, so their homework would only be phonics, or you know, whatever it is that you wanted to. It's generally phonics, isn't it? When the main thing we want kids to catch up on, because it's really hard to mix levels with phonics, but it's with a context-rich story-based lessons, it's a little easier to mix levels because they can see the context and what's going on, though the language level might be different. So that's for me, that's one of the big advantages is the catch-up stuff so that you wouldn't have that kid who just, you know, they just forever and ever behind everyone. And, you know, they may not do their homework, but we can see that they haven't. So quickly, I'll just run you through what it looks like. So this is the teacher's app. You can see here it says 1 to 600 digital lessons, blended lessons. The blended lessons are lessons that are guided by the digital app, but you can, it has a point in the lesson where you do take a break and do physical activities with the kids. You do live lessons, not gym class. Okay, so here we go, just getting back on track here. So then you go into the curriculum, and the levels are based on the characters. This is Sally the squirrel, meet Sally. So you'd go into, this is A1, A2, A3, A4. They've got a bunch of different lessons. Then you can look at the overview of the lesson, and it tells you what will be in that lesson. And it's great. So this is the parents app. The parents this is what they see. Now you'll notice here it says enter the game world, and it's grayed out. So that would be because the child, we've assigned homework to the child, and they haven't done it yet. So they can't go into the game world. Okay, so then let's look at so the parent decides. Let's go back there for a second. The learning journey, it says here in the blue. So that says reinforce classroom experience, and that's what we're going to do. So the learning journey, we click in there, bing, and then it shows you the castle right there. It's a grayed out castle, and this little line where it's got the orange and the green, and they've done 2 activities already. And so it says start learning. So let's start learning. Woo. Okay, so they go into the app, and then they get in there, and the parent punches in the code so that we don't want to encourage just rampant use of devices that's the biggest challenge with an app, really, isn't it? Just, you know, if I could make 1 million of me to go home and play with the kids doing origami, I would, but we can't. So we've got to use it. So then the parents can get these reports, and we can get these same reports, and it shows how much of each word they've learned. Now they can't get into the game world, so let's watch them go in, and we're obviously going to skip through this quickly, but I just want to show you one of the games. So they go inside, they choose a game, they match it up. Ooh, this student's so fast. Wow, they're so good. Amazing. Unbelievable. So they finish the game. Well done. They move along. short-term achievable goals, a lot of dopamine, bam, bam, bam. The kids are loving it. Finally, there's always a song at the end. The good thing about these songs are that the kids can, they can choose the content. So you'll see here, this is very noisy. And I don't even think I can turn it down here, but sorry about that. So the kids choose what will be the words in their song, and they can choose their original song. And this is maybe a bit noisy for mommy, but yeah. So if you do this online, for your online lessons, you can have the children choosing in Zoom. I want daddy, I want mommy, I want.
Who's that?
So who's that?
Who's that? That's my mom. That's my mom. That's my mom. That's my mom.
A lot of repetition using high frequency sight words here. Who's that? That's my mom. Okay, and we'll skip to the end here.
Who's that? That we're looking at. Who's that? Who's that? That's my sister. That's my sister. That's my sister. That's my sister.
And there we go. That's the skip to the end. I'm a bit, I might give them some feedback on the height relationship between the daughter and the father. I think that daughter, she's like way taller than dad. So, sorry, I messed it up. So there's the last, here we go. Oh, yay. So now we've completed our learning journey. And every week they get one learning journey. So then they can go to the land, the world, and then they can choose where they want to go. Okay, so I want to go to the pond and show you what that's like. But I'm gonna go to the there's this music going on in the background. I don't know what that is. So yeah, so as you go, when you go to the land here, you can see there's a little pathway, and that pathway sometimes it lights up with letters and stuff. So this is, it's so incredible, right? Like it's not just it's 3D super cool world. Now, really cool. Watch this. He's gonna go back there. I'm moving him around. This is me moving him around. But this says Joe, student 3. Can you see that? So no, I don't, man. That's a bummer. I just did the video thing again. No. But anyways, sorry about that. I don't know how to manipulate videos within a keynote presentation to fast forward, but that was one of the students. And in there, let me just get that. I'll just let it play while I'm talking, and I'll stop the share and just let it play through until we're there. So basically, that Joe, it said Joe and student 3. That's actually a real student who's in the class, and so my character, when you go around and you play games in the world, you obviously you're learning language, but you're also gaining these coins, right? And so with the coins, you can buy clothes and change your clothes. So the kids can adjust their character. Obviously, they can change their character from the beginning, skin color, all that stuff. But then they can get caps and like alligator hats and different kind of things like that. So that's just fun. But what's cool is that they can see another student in there, and they can see that student's clothes. So I think it's pretty cool that they can do that. Now, I'm just gonna have to get this video from inside of my, but anyways, so the, let me see, I'm sorry about that. The play here. So they can go in.
Anyway, it's very gamified. It's a very gamified atmosphere.
Yeah, it is. And then.
And it's very interactive. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And the, oh well. Okay, I'm just going to finish up here because we're actually running out of time anyways. But they can go in there and this, for some of the games that they play, they can, let me see here. So it's like a matching game, but once the game is finished, the cards flip over, and when you're right, they disappear, and it shows, it's just a picture of one of the characters helping an old lady across the road. And so you don't have to talk about it, but this is those points where they've subtly put in some of those 21st century skills, and one of them is just sort of thinking about others and social.
Well, it's like mindfulness, right? Would be
Mindfulness.
one
Thank
of them.
you.
Right, that would be one of them. Yeah.
That's why we have a smart co-host to help me with words. So this is to sort of sum it up here, with this kind of app to help me get the kids to learn at home in educationally sound way. Like, this was my sort of schedule or calendar from years ago, a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and it had like 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6. So it was quite busy, and the Saturdays were quite long. But this is extreme, and it's what do you call it? It's controversial a bit. But what I'm trying to do to improve the convenience level for my parents, the students' parents, without sacrificing educational quality, but also to try and introduce a program of students teaching students, little Vygotsky in there. I'm working on that kind of a program, and it's very complicated and difficult, but having this kind of sophisticated home study program would change this schedule into this schedule. So they would have the grades 1 and 2s would be together, grades 3 and 4s would be together. So basically my schedule would allow me to, keep very flexible, and my days would be a bit shorter because I wouldn't have to have so many different levels and different classes. And that's obviously not possible with just, Yes.
Scott, you're about 2 minutes over, so probably just a good time to wrap up and see if there are any questions.
Got it. So let's just do questions. So these are the people that own it. It's really good. There's lots of fun stuff, and I do think I highly recommend the app. So if anybody has,
and I will just break in just for a quick moment to let everybody know that the children's list that Scott referred to, the new Dolce list, I put a link to that list in the chat menu. So if you're interested in downloading that list, we've made it in multiple forms, including with deaf-in-ins, and it's all available for free download from my website. That's in the chat. Okay, so any questions or comments for Scott? Maybe before that, just give a quick round of applause for a very good presentation.
Thank you.
And I think there are no presentations after this, so I think it's probably okay to go a few minutes over if there are any questions or comments.
Yeah, this is Kevin. I have a question. Actually, I have 2 questions.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey. Okay, I wasn't sure if you could hear me there. Okay, great. It looks great, but how does the pricing work? I did check it out online, and I even downloaded it after I saw information about your presentation online. I checked it out, but there was nothing about pricing at all. So yeah, could you explain that for us as someone who's already used it?
Thank you. Yeah, that's so funny. I didn't even put that in my presentation, but I was definitely thinking about that. So right now, so that's obviously that's the hard part, right? So the issue that we have, that we have in my school too, is material fees, right? So we actually charge we charge 12,000 yen per year, and in that we include textbooks, CDs, all the what do you call it, construction paper, everything that you can think of, we sort of batch it into one fee. So this course now, it's going to be, I think they said it's, I can't remember what they said, 600 or 700 yen per student per month. So it would be about 7,000, another 7,000 per year per student, right? So obviously that's a big ask, and that's really one of the challenges with me considering this was that. So we're kind of in talks with them right now, and we're trying to work something out where if we can get a good number of owners who are interested together, would they give us a discount of some sort? So we're trying to figure that out right now.
Yes, I think it's the retail price that I saw is 600 yen per month per student. And that's for like I think 6 months minimum. And then I think they, what I've seen in other countries, what they do is they offer a significant discount if you sign up for 12 months instead of 6 months. And then they offer a further discount if, if you're adopting for a larger number of students or schools or something like that. So I'm assuming that the maximum is 600 per month, and then it sort of goes down from there.
Yeah. So my wife, she originally said no. So I was like, honey, please, because I'm a teacher, so I really wanted to to get my. I believe that right now, that with the trend that's going on right now, we're looking at jukus. Their age level, their age range is getting lower and lower, and I believe that I'm not going to go out and compete with jukus directly with them in mind, but I do believe that if we can get our students to a certain level of English and give them a very good experience by a certain age, and I think that age is about grade 2 or 3, then they tend to stay forever, basically. And that's a different problem. If they do stay forever, then good luck, because you'll be finishing at 11 p.m. But it's a better problem to have. So what,
Scott, this is not just 600 yen a month is not only just for the app, right? I mean, that's for the student app and for the teaching app and for the teaching lessons and the lesson plans and the graded readers, and it's like this massive amount of stuff. So it's, if you're a school owner, I'm imagining, that this is almost like a full curriculum that where the app is just a practice component of the entire solution. It's kind of a full solution.
Yeah, that's true. So that's the thing, is that if you wanted to, like, let's say someone were starting a school from scratch. I'm coming at this from my experience, and we already we have a lot of things set up in our schools already. So I that I take pride in. So, but if someone were starting a school from scratch and they didn't have anything, and they're like, I want to keep my material fees between 7,000 to 10,000 yen per year, then you could just make this your main thing. And they've got worksheets as well, like downloadable worksheets. They do have the ability to. They do have textbooks, but they're not. You'd have to print them in, like.
Right, they're in PDF yourself. Form, I think. Right.
Yeah. So that would be that's the downside. So from my perspective, I want to make a hybrid of those two. But I do think it's worth it. But I do want to work together with the company and see if there's a way we can get it down, around the 400. I think people would, if you told a person, this is normally 12,000 yen a year, but we're going to get it with my school. You get it with us. You get it for 6,000 a year or 4,000 a year or whatever it is. Then I think that's not a big ask, for what it is. And I do think you also need to have a good, you need to be able to go somewhere with it, like not just, yeah, I think you need to be working with their, with high frequency words, so that it's not just moving faster through let's go or something like that. Moving faster through let's go won't really guarantee that you're going to be able to speak better. It just means you'll know more questions and answers to questions.
We're about close to 10 minutes past the finishing time. Is there,
Right.
no, I mean, I'm thinking what we could do is just, I don't think there's anything else after this. We could just sort of make an official closing right now, so that people feel comfortable going who have to go. But if there are any more questions, or if you want to talk with Scott more, you can just stick around and maybe have a few more minutes. Would that be okay?
And let's all say,
well,
just so you can not be scared of that comment. Let's say we'll just go for another 10, maximum 15, and then Charlie will just off me. He'll just turn me off. So,
okay.
Hey guys,
Okay, one more round of applause for Scott. Thank you very much.
If you need to go to Costco, go for it.
May I ask another question?
Yep, I think we got two. One's from Mary, and then was that from you? Was that you, Kevin? Again, and one more question.
I did ask something about. Yeah, I'll wait. Sorry.
No, I see one question about, do they have this for PC British Council? That's one question. For PC, meaning like not Macintosh. This is available. It's platform independent, so I think it works for Windows and Macs. And British Council doesn't mean British English or American English. I think this is originally designed mostly in British English, if I'm not mistaken, but it's gonna be they're adding American English soon. Is that correct, Scott?
Yep. That was the first question I asked. It was like, oh, hello, I'm Bobby. Let's go to the store. I'm like, okay, So American English.
Kevin also asked, is there Japanese available in the parent app? And the answer is very soon. So they're in the process of translating the website, the app, and the parents app. So I think everything basically is going to be in Japanese pretty soon, or is this going to be able to switch back and forth?
Yep.
And Mary, you had a question?
Yeah, my question is simply, one of the worries for a lot of school owners is we introduce apps like this, or we introduce something fun. Will we lose the students to our classrooms and they just want to do online stuff?
Yeah, so that's the thing where, I mean, it's you. So I think it's you would obviously be in less fearful of that than like someone who has 2 years experience, because what you can do with a base is different from what the average new teacher could do with that base. So to answer to you specifically, you just imagine what you could do with that kind of base, and you would just, you would.
Well, Scott, I would. There's another way of looking at this, and
Yep.
this applies to adult learners as well as children learners. And I've been in the online learning space for a long time. Most of the apps that I've designed, and the projects I've worked on are utilizing the online learning materials as supplemental materials, because the big problem we have in Japan in EFL settings is that students aren't exposed to enough English outside of class. And if you only have contact hour, like an hour a week or 2 hours a week, but you happen to have a very immersive, fun app, then that hour or 2 hours a week can become 4 hours a week. And if they're practicing the vocabulary and grammar that you're teaching in the textbook, then it becomes almost like a flipped classroom idea where they're doing the kind of not boring stuff, but the mechanical stuff they're doing outside of class in this immersive environment, freeing you up to do more interactive stuff in the classroom, and them progressing more quickly because of that doubling of the time on task. I mean, that's certainly how I look at almost all of the apps that I develop, is just trying to take mechanical stuff like vocabulary learning and then putting that, into an interesting app that can be done outside of class in a way that increases time on task. Same thing for our extensive reading websites as well. All of those free apps are designed to try and increase exposure to English beyond what's going on in the classroom.
And to add to that, this particular, if we're going to talk about this particular app, the parents cannot, they can't use the app unless they're registered for your school. So unless there was a school, I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
down
that's
the
a good
road,
point.
Yeah, like if there was a school down the road who
Yeah.
used this app too, then they would go to that school, and then they could register with that school to use the app. But that would be just like losing a student to another school, right? So they can't just use the app. They need to they have to register through a teacher who has
Good point.
the use of the app at their school.
Okay, another question, two questions related to the age range. Like, what's the lowest and the youngest and oldest that you feel would be benefiting from this, Scott?
Well, they say 2 or 3 to 9 or 10.
Yeah, it's a pretty wide range. I mean, it's 600 lessons, and right, so it's a fair.
And I think the 600 lessons is more there just for the voracious types, to keep them in terms of the critical thinking level. I would say it's geared for kindergarten age, but the world, so like, probably grade, if it does go up to, I'm going to use it up to grade 2 for sure. I might go up to grade 3. I haven't decided yet, but I'm definitely going to go up to grade 2. But though I imagine that a grade 2 kid, would be just zoom, zoom, zoom. I get the, they're like, excuse me. I get the idea. Now I'm just going to do the English, and they would move through it a lot faster. But definitely, I think that the activities are geared towards kindergarten based on what they are. But I'm going to be using it because the language, it goes all the way up to present continuous, third person, first person, all that kind of stuff is, and the biggest challenge with our industry is we have these really great, I know Mary has one too, but actually, I think most people here have really good kindergarten programs. Yo, Corgi. So basically, to have a kindergarten program that's good, and those kids move up into grade 1, but then there's that group that they've decided to only start English from grade 1. And where do we put those? It's like, how do we put them together, and then, not sacrifice one of those two groups if we do mix them, and I do mix them. So I want to have something where the grade 1s who start new will be able to go through a good solid phonics base, phonics foundation program, so that they don't get some holes. And then I also don't want to, I don't want to make the kids who came up from kindergarten sort of have to wait while the others catch up. So that's the advantage for me as well.
I think we can probably squeeze in one more question, and that is it possible to practice English expressions with the app? Certainly at the lower levels, it's focused more on single words, but at the higher levels, what were you seeing, Scott?
Yeah, so they have, where is this? Yes, the answer is yes. I would say that they do avoid, or it seems, I haven't gone through all 666 lessons, but it seems to me on first look that they avoid, I can't even speak English anymore. Chushoteki, abstract, sorry. They avoid
Abstract ones,
abstract type expressions like, you know, there's a pain in the neck. That kind of
idiomatic
yeah.
expressions, maybe.
Thank you. That's why you're here. Love you, Charlie. So yes, so they're all, most of the stuff that you can learn from this app is basically stuff that you can see a picture and understand what you're saying based on a picture. And that's limiting because you know, getting into the word list and all the words on there are a lot of words that you couldn't do that with. So, but that's basically, there's a lot of English sentences that are in there, and they're all basically like, look at the picture. It's clear what the picture means. Let's talk about it like that.
Okay, well, I think we're just at the point where it's probably good to close up. So for all of you who stuck around for a few more minutes, thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Scott, for a great presentation. And do take a look at this app. It is really, you know, amazingly immersive and a lot of fun. I think you like it.
Thank
you
guys.
very much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Oh yeah, it's Valentine's Day.
It's about time for Valentine's dinner, isn't it?
There's a cute little English learner.
Oh,
Hey there.
hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, she's cute, but she's a handful. A right handful, aren't you?
She's listening very intently.
Hello.
Hey there.
Hello. I like your stars.
Hey, cutie.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thanks,
Well,
Gary.
thank you so much for coming.
Okay, take care.
Take care,
Bye,
everybody.
Mary.
Thanks both. Thank you.
See you guys. Bye, Jen. Bye,
All the
Andy.
best.